Whether or not Jessica Jones wants to remember it, she did used to be a superhero with powers and all. Even her arch nemesis, more or less, abused her power set for his own note good. So what exactly are Jessica Jones's powers, and how is the Purple Man able to control her to use them for evil so easily? Hello and welcome to the show with Issues. I'm Auram, and get excited! In just over a week, the next installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Netflix division will be released to the world, or at least the parts of the world that have Netflix anyway. That's right, Jessica Jones will be premiering on November 20th, so I figured I'd do a rundown of her and her arch nemesis's powers on another Power Hour segment. That all being said, let's get started. First up is our titular hero, Jessica Jones. Before we get into her powers, as is tradition, we need to do a quick rundown of her origin. Jessica Jones was born Jessica Campbell and went to Midtown High School with none other than Peter Parker. She even had a cute, lovey crush on the guy, but of course that all fell through when he was bitten by a certain radioactive spider. Not long after that accident, Jessica encountered her accident. On a family road trip en route to Disney World, the Campbells crashed into a military convoy carrying radioactive chemicals. This crash forced Jessica into a coma, and when awaking from said coma, she discovered that her family was nowhere to be found. Orphaned, scared, and alone, Jessica was luckily adopted by the Jones family, hence Jessica Jones. Jessica was in a turmoil of emotions, which caused her to run and run until she, well, started flying. Jessica began to discover all of her newfound powers, which we'll get into in a bit, and this led her to becoming the superheroine known as Jewel. Unfortunately, it wasn't too far into her career that she ran into Zebediah Killgrave, the Purple Man. Long story short, Killgrave Jedi mind tricked Jessica into basically becoming his slave for 8 months. Without getting too explicit here, Killgrave traumatized Jessica, which eventually ended up in her quitting her superhero career and starting Alias Investigations as a private investigator. She later had a baby with Luke Cage, married the guy, and is now pretty much sticking to being a mother of one while occasionally kicking some ass as Jewel. If you want to get into the more detailed side of Jessica's origin, check out my buddy Drake's video on the subject. That'll be linked down below and also in a card somewhere. Anyway, enough about her origin. What are Jessica's powers all about? Well, honestly, they're pretty underwhelming. Starting off, she has superhuman strength. While the limits of her strength haven't really been shown, we definitely have some strong documented cases here. For one, while under the control of Purple Man, she lifted and threw a 2-ton police car with practically no effort. She was also able to easily dispose of Spider Wound once, and when she first discovered her strength, she uprooted a fully grown tree. So she's definitely strong, but that's not much unless it's coupled with her superhuman durability. It's actually pretty unclear where exactly her durability starts and ends, seeing as it's used mostly as a way to get her out of situations a normal human wouldn't be able to withstand. For example, when fighting the Avengers, she was easily disposed of and knocked out, but she's also been shown to walk through a building explosion with no damage whatsoever. Like I said earlier, not very clear where the specific power stands, and it's mostly just used as a plot device. But of course, we can't forget about her ability to fly. Again, not much to say here. There's nothing really noteworthy about her flight other than the fact that she can fly. One last small power of Jessica's is her telepathic resistance, given to her by Jean Grey. While Jessica was under the control of Purple Man, Jean Grey came to the rescue and removed this control. It was later revealed that she also placed some mental blocks in Jessica's brain that allowed her to escape from Killgrave's control on her own if it was ever necessary. As far as any noteworthy abilities go, she's got relatively good detective skills from her days as a PI, and was even trained by the Avengers in basic hand-to-hand combat. So those are all of Jessica's powers and abilities, but what about her weaknesses? She, of course, has major PTSD as a result of her time with Killgrave, which led to her becoming the more violent vigilante known as the Nitrous. Jean Grey helped her through months of therapy to get over this, but nevertheless, Killgrave could still potentially activate something if they came into contact. Another weakness is her small case of alcoholism. She basically just used alcohol as a coping mechanism, but she quit after her daughter was born. So that's pretty much it for Jessica Jones, but what about her pal Zebediah Killgrave? According to the man himself, Killgrave was a spy working for the Soviet Union, who was assigned to invade an American army camp to steal a sample of untested nerve gas. A patrolling guard spotted Killgrave trying to take the canister of gas and shot at him, but he missed, hitting the canister itself. The gas leaked out and affected Killgrave, dyeing his skin permanently purple and giving him his powers. He called himself the Purple Man and went on to commit multiple heinous crimes, including running into Jessica Jones and doing what we talked about earlier. Now, Killgrave has a pretty basic origin, but unlike Jessica Jones, his powers, and more importantly what he does with them, are what really makes him interesting. Killgrave has the power of mind control, but not the hand-wavy Jedi mind trick stuff that you're thinking of. No, he secretes a pheromone when he speaks that basically disarms the affected's brain, causing them to lose all sense of self and do whatever whatever he tells them to do. He's been seen to control crowds of people, and it only wears off when he is no longer physically present in the area, causing the pheromones to deplete. In addition to his mind control, Killgrave has an accelerated healing factor. It's pretty par for the course, basically just a plot device that's stretched as thin or as far as it needs to be. Similar to Jessica's durability, actually. This might seem like a small set of powers, but the possibilities here are nearly endless. He was able to control Jessica Jones and make her attack the Avengers without any effort, so imagine if he controlled someone like Thor. In fact, Nick Fury once classified Purple Man as a level 10 threat, which is apparently a pretty big deal. However, all of this kind of goes down the drain when you consider that he has very poor fighting skills. One of his biggest foes, Daredevil, is immune to his pheromones as a result of his heightened senses, so as long as Hell's Kitchen's savior can get past the Purple Dude's minions, he's pretty much toast. So to round everything up, here are Jessica Jones and Purple Man's power levels along with Luke Cage and Daredevil's for comparison. But of course, that's it for this week. Hope I was able to get you guys up to speed on all the aspects of Jessica Jones and Purple Man's powers and even clue you in on their origins just a bit. It'll be interesting to see how far the show takes everything I talked about here. I guess I'll leave you with a fun question this time. If you had mind control powers, what's the best possible thing you could use it for? Don't be weird. Anyway, don't forget to answer that in the comments, and before you head out, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. That all being said, thank you so much for watching. Next time my high school crush finally talks to me, but I just see it as pity from him and just throw my books at him, and the relationship is ruined forever until we meet up again as superheroes and we talk about it or something. I don't know. Jessica Jones reference.